Talk us through that 2009 grand final year, because it was kind of a whirlwind of a year, because you guys didn't start off the year that well.
Yeah.
You were almost, you kind of just cracked the 8.
Yeah.
And then you went on a massive run into the finals off the back of the Hayne plane as well. Then you guys were just playing a bit more like ad-lib style of footy, a lot of offloads. You guys got a lot of permission to play free-flowing footy that year.
Yeah.
What was it like, that run to the grand final?
It was awesome, man. It was a good time. You got to give Daniel Anderson a lot of credit. The coach at the time, he came from England, and he had great success before he got to us. He got the Warriors to a grand final. He won like 3 Challenge Cups and I think a couple of Super Leagues over in England. So he knew how to win. And he came to us, and we spent the whole summer preparing a certain way of, like a certain style of play. And it obviously wasn't working. And to his credit, he kind of just scrapped that whole gameplay in the bin halfway through the year till we were going to change it. And we just played a lot more free fall. Yeah, it was a massive call. Like most coaches will wait to the end of the season and try it again the following year, but we completely changed mid-season. And we had a good crew. So we had to win. Like I think we were coming second last halfway through the year. And there was a stretch there where we couldn't afford to lose a game for the rest of the year. So every game was like a final win. And I think we won 8 or 9 in a row. And then the last round of the year was the first time all year we knew when the finals, whether we won or lost.
The Dragons.
And he figured out that whether we won or lost, we were playing the Dragons the next week anyway. Dragons had finished first, we were going to finish 8th, so it was like a big task. They were a good team. And it was a really weird week. That week, we didn't do any video. He didn't speak to us pre-game. The captain's run didn't talk to us. He pulled Hindy out, injured. It was just like a weird, like a preparation. And we got flogged that last game. And we came back in the sheds, and before we even left, he's like, all right, this one was on me. Next week, we're going to prepare to play. And it was like, before we even left the game, it was like, oh, we'll win next week. And that whole week, the Dragons were really cocky, and they thought that they were going to flog us again, and we came out and pulled their pants down.
Strategic,
Probably,
2 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
mate, that
Probably
was
one
really
of
good
the
coaching.
biggest upsets ever, considering like 8th versus 1st.
Yeah.
I think only like New Zealand Warriors have ever done that as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, against Melbourne?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was, like, honestly, it was good coaching because it would have been hard to beat them 2 weeks in a row.
And that season playing with Hayne, do you still think that's probably one of the best individual seasons ever?
Yeah. Well, I know they talked about Turbo a couple of years ago, and like that was a pretty amazing stretch. But mate, Haynes, the audio was on that. Like, he had oppositions terrified. Like, so they were giving him so much time in the space because they were so scared of what he was going to do, which made him look even better. So like, it's just it was a good ride to be on, and he created a lot when there was nothing there.
Because I know Hayne 09, Yellow Boots, it's the best individual season ever, hands down.
Yeah.
And that's like, I don't know, maybe because I was a kid watching it, it's just like, I wanted to buy those boots because of you.
You'll always remember it. And then obviously going to the grand final, I know some past players have talked about how they feel about, going up against the Melbourne Storm, and then all the controversies that happened afterwards with the Melbourne Storm getting those points taken off them and the grand finals stripped away from them. I know Heine's commented on it. Have you ever spoken about how you felt, with them, allegedly cheating?
I get asked that a lot. I got no hard feelings. Like, even if they gave it to us, it wouldn't feel the same. Like, you want to win it. You want to experience the win and the emotions that go with winning the game. So, like, I didn't care they didn't hand us the trophy.
If they had said Parramatta awarded the premiership, would it have felt the same? You wouldn't have
It
cared?
would have been nice to have under your belt, but it wouldn't have felt the same.
Okay.
And I always joke around, but we got in trouble for cheating the salary cap and we got wooden spoon. So at least I did it well.
You think Parramatta, a lot of Lebos, they would have figured it out how to do it properly.
So mate,
Too loud.
and they still have to. Like, it's one thing having a good team on paper and the big salary cap, but they've also had to win games. It was hard to do, so a lot of credit goes to them.
And then you finished your career, like I said, you kind of went through a tough decade with Parra. There was 3 wooden spoons there, a lot of chop and changing with the coaches. Then they go on to, feature in a grand final last year with Brad Arthur. You were coached by Brad Arthur. What were your feelings on Brad Arthur as a coach?
I think he's done a great job. Like, to get him from, I think, when he started, we were wooden spooners. So Ricky Stewart's year there, we ended up wooden spooners. He came in 14, Brad Arthur, and to get him from wooden spooners to grand final and a consistently competing side is really a huge effort. I think the Penrith grand final, I think Penrith taught us a bit of a lesson, which hopefully it goes in good stead for us in the next time round. But we're pretty fortunate to get there. Like, we end up getting to a grand final without having to beat Penrith, Melbourne, Roosters, South. None of the heavyweights went our way, so we had a nice smooth run.
And you gave them a fair crack. They always step up against Penrith.
Yeah,
They had a fair shake in the grand final. It was quite close.
But Penrith are too good.
Yeah.
I was probably being serious here. Honestly, it was like I was on the sidelines commentating for SEN Radio, and I thought, yeah, it's going to be great. And then within 4 minutes, okay.
Game over early.
Yeah.